Today, we're just crafting around, turning thrifted finds, craft supplies, and Dollar Tree goodies into charming Christmas decor. This video is full of inspiration and promises to bring the sweetest touch to your holiday. I'm Melissa, and this is Craft Crumbs. Thank you for joining me. Have you ever been to the thrift store and found that one wow item that you just couldn't leave without? I'm going to show the binder to you in a future video. For now, I'm just going to pull out the Christmas images for this first DIY. I'm also going into my stash of Dollar Tree goodies as promised, and I'm going to use one of the 8x10 canvases, a chalkboard house type thing, and a simple chalkboard for this one. This is going to be a 3-part shelf leaner that can go really anywhere, but it's going to be perfect on the slim shelves I have on the wall in the living room. I love the concept of slim shelves, and for the most part, I'm happy with how this is decorated, except for that bottom shelf. Now, I decorate my home primarily for spring and summer year round because that's what I love, but the struggle is real. I intend to switch this entire system up for the holiday season and then do something a little different in January. I think these 3 pieces together are going to be the perfect focal point for the bottom shelf, and then I'll stage it with other Christmas decor to bring it all together. I start by cutting down the first and largest image to fit the 8x10 canvas piece from the Dollar Tree. The weight and feel of these images is consistent with a magazine page, but I don't think it came from a magazine. I was curious and I went and pulled some of them out, and this is the name that I'm finding at the bottom of some of the images. Not all of the images have the name at the bottom, but they're all sort of the same art style, painting style, what have you. So I think that these may have been cut from a book. I'll have to give it a Google and see what I can find. Getting back to the project, I Mod Podged the picture down to the 8.5 by 11 canvas frame. I noticed the picture had a little bit of dust or dirt on it, so I wiped it with a baby wipe, and now I'm just going to trim off the edges to clean them up a bit and give myself more white space around here. I had some of this candy cane ribbon that I picked up in a pack from Walmart. It came with a couple of different kinds of ribbon, and I've been dying to use this on something, but just needed the right project. I'm just going to frame this. I think I'm just kind of contemplating, do I want to make a handle? One of these days I'm going to glue it around the edge. And now I'm just kind of thinking, do I want to start it at the top or the bottom? Ouch, I'm pretty sure I burnt myself there. I'm a glue gun daredevil, I tell ya. This is a thick ribbon, so I'm just going around the outer edge there and applying a little bit more glue to tack it down because it was looking just a smidge frumpy. And then I fool around with this bottom piece because I really don't want it to look like 2 pieces were meeting here in the middle. What's a reasonable amount of time to fool with things? I must know. There we go. Look, you can't even tell that they came together now, which apparently gives me more reason to fool with it. Just a little TLC, that's all she needed. A lot like many of us. A little TLC goes a long way. Alright, I'm going to stop the bleeding and move on to the second image. This is just a standard small chalkboard. I thrifted about 15 of these for $6.99 bundled together at Goodwill, and it was an impulse buy and it was a regretful buy at first because they've been in my stash for quite a long time. But we're going to start using these puppies. I need to start using this stuff. Should I do another note box? A few months ago I did a crafting my note box video. It seemed to be a well-liked video. I can't really recall how many views it got, and these are currently in my note box. I'll link that video down below for you should you want to check it out, and let me know if you would like to see another one of those. When it comes to what we're going to be doing after Christmas, I don't know that I'm going to do a lot of winter DIYs. I sort of want to use the time to create evergreen projects that we can use year-round. In the next few days, I'll put a poll on my community page that will allow you to choose and help me decide what to do after Christmas. Hopefully my jabber wasn't too distracting. I simply took the second picture and Mod Podged it the same as I did on the first one, but instead of on canvas, onto one of those smaller, I think it's a 5x7 chalkboard. I did iron out the wrinkles because for some reason this sheet didn't want to stick down like it should. And then I wanted to add a little definition around the edges, so I'm going to go in with some mahogany color ink and just ink around those edges. For the third piece of art, I'm going to use this chalkboard shaped like a house. And I started off using acrylic paint, but changed over to chalk paint when I realized I wasn't getting the coverage quickly. It was going to take several coats with the acrylic. So here's what it looks like when everything's covered with the chalk paint. Now that I have a nice base, I'm going to cover the white chalk paint up with antiquing wax. Just a very light coat, and then I'll buff that in to remove any kind of strokes or marks that don't belong. So I'm just using a sponge and kind of applying it and blending it in one go. I set that aside to dry for about 30 minutes and came back to it. Now I'm going to apply some Mod Podge to the center, and this is where I'm going to put the last image down. I'm going to add what could be either snowflakes or stars in the sky up here at the top. What do you see when you look at this? Stars or snowflakes? To get rid of the blunt edges of the picture, I'm going in with some die cuts that I used on some gold paper. I'll link that down below and any other products you might be interested in. And I just cut those out, and now I'm adding the little wreath that fell off of another Christmas tree sign from the Dollar Tree. I mean, they just fall off, don't they? It's like they're just handed to us on a gold platter. I'm going to keep the hanger attached but tape it down. This way, if I want to use it in the future, it's right there and ready for me. Here they are complete. These three pieces together tell a beautiful story. We have a little girl inside decorating the tree. The golden retriever puppy runs up and knocks a bulb out of her hand, and it crashes onto the floor. Her older brother rushes over to pull the puppy away, and they sit quietly together on the floor while she finishes. From the outside looking in, you just know that this is a joyful place to spend the holidays. I'm not encouraging any voyeurism here, okay? It's just a story. But look at how my bottom shelf looks at this point. I'll be decorating the other two shelves with things I've made on the channel in just a few days. Every DIY in this video has multiple pieces to the set. I'm going to paint these 4 coasters that I picked up at Michael's a long time ago. They still have them though, if you're interested in grabbing them. They were very affordable. And in a moment, I'm going to incorporate something that I picked up at the Dollar Tree to go with this set. But I'm just taking some Amazon rub-on transfers. The brand is Wandic. You'll find the link down below. They're absolutely gorgeous. When I'm searching for transfers, this is the brand that I always search for first. I've just had phenomenal results. Now, I just painted these a few minutes ago and used my heat gun to go over them and dry the paint. And as you can see, I'm easily able to transfer it and not pull any of that paint up. And that's just kind of the standard with this brand. Here you're getting a quick glimpse at some of the other transfers available in this massive pack. And I'm just choosing a couple more images to put down onto these coasters. I'm going to use gold leaf rub and buff to frame these babies out. And then I'll seal them with a light coat of Mod Podge. Here's the Dollar Tree piece that I completed off camera and am bringing into this collection. It's still not entirely dry on the inside. The Mod Podge still has a little bit of time, but I'm going to finish it up. I'm going to use my pokey tool. It's called an awl, and I'm just going to poke some holes in here. You could use a small drill bit. This is just what I had next to me, and frankly, I was looking for easy at this point because I've been crafting all day. I'm going to poke 2 holes, one right beside the other. This wood is soft, but not as soft as some of the other pieces they have. I went into my embellishment stash and hunt for a small tassel. I'm going to use gold twine and those 2 holes in the front to attach the tassel. I'm tying it in a knot, and then I'll trim off the excess. This is so cute when it's done. I wanted to give the champagne glass some bubbles, So I'm going to go in with a couple of these flat back beads. I think I bought these from Temu a while back. They have a gold and amber iridescence to them and they're gorgeous. I'm using jewelry glue, aka E7000, to attach these. It has this really nice fine point that allows you to get the glue exactly where you need it and nowhere else. As a final step, I'm going to go back in with more of the gold leaf rub and buff and outline the top of the lid. Here they are complete, staged on a Christmas platter we made in a recent video. I love the contrasting white, gold, and green in these pieces, but I want to know what you think. I found these 3 hearts at a local thrift store and picked them up around Valentine's Day and set them aside for Christmas. I'm going to just let you watch and enjoy the music while I put these pieces together. Once I have the little bird's nest and the bird inside, I'm going to close it back up with just a small piece of floral wire. And to add some softness and warmth to the bottom, I'm going to take a piece of this doily that I cut apart. I made smaller doilies out of a larger one. It had a hole in the middle. So I'm going to poke the bottom of the heart through the hole and then hot glue this down. And look, here's proof that I sometimes prepare for these videos. I'm going to use a few jewelry findings to add a tassel to the bottom. Each of the 3 hearts is primarily the same on the inside, with the exception of the bird being in a different position. On the tops and the bottom of the ornaments is where I make them different from one to the other. I'm going to add a bulb pin to the back of each of these to give myself a second option for hanging them. Here I'm showing you the 3 ornaments and the differences between them. Who wouldn't love to receive a gift like this? We've all seen birds in a cage of some type or birds in a nest of some type on DIYs, but this one is just so exquisite. It's so elegant. I'm going to give these 2 wicker bells that I picked up at a local Amazon return center a facelift and make them Christmassy. Here's a Dollar Tree version of about the same size bell that you can use in place of the wicker ones I'm using. For a nice festive base, I'm going to use gold acrylic paint and just coat the outside. Now the paint does seep through the wicker and I just go inside and smooth that out as I go. Now I'm going to take some of this crushed glass. You see me use this in DIYs last year when I created those owl ornaments and still have a ton of it. A little goes a long way. I'm going to take some glue here. This is the glitter glue that's great for gems and anything small like this. And then just dip it in the crushed glass. It doesn't hurt or cut your hands to handle the glass, but if you were to drop a piece on the floor and then step on it, I'm pretty sure it would hurt. It would do a little damage. You might see some red, okay? So just protect your surface. Make sure that you're not dropping any of those little glass particles on the floor. I set this aside and allowed the glue to dry overnight, and I'm coming back the next day to finish it up. I have a couple of these red bulbs that were from my Dollar Tree stash, and two of these small discs with a hole in the center. These came in a pack from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to use the bulb as the bell clapper, and I'm going to anchor it with those little discs. These little discs are one of the items that I've run out of now that I can't seem to find. So I haven't been able to get these from Hobby Lobby in quite a while. And I'm also completely 100% out of the regular size tumbling tower blocks from the Dollar Tree. And I really didn't realize how much I relied on them to add like stands and things like that to projects until I ran out. I haven't found the tower blocks on the Dollar Tree website. I hope that doesn't mean that they're going to discontinue them. Dollar Tree, if you happen to run into this video and hear me, please continue to stock those. I speak for myself and all of us crafters. I'm going to line the inside edge of the bell with holly, but I need to cut off 2 or 3 of the holly leaves to leave room for the clapper. If my voice comes across as a little broken in areas, please forgive me. I am actually losing my voice, which I'm sure some of you are praying for anyway. But I'm not sure if I've ever told you, but my normal 9 to 5 job, which isn't actually a normal 9 to 5, but you get the idea. I talk on the phone nonstop. That's my job. If you don't hear my voice cracking or weak at times, it's just because I've become an expert editor. I'm pro level at this point, if only. Each bell has 2 of the holly picks, and then I'm going to use the leaves that I cut off earlier to fill in around those outside edges. And then I'll use bits and pieces of pine and berries to embellish the top. The little hangers that are on these, one of them, the one up there in the top right corner of the screen, that one was in perfect condition. The one that you see me working with right now, this one was totally broke. You're not hanging anything from that. So I'm just trying to add a piece of ribbon right here to kind of reestablish that connection. And I added a piece of ribbon to the other bell as well to keep them cohesive. Now I want to add a hanger, and I realized that this velour ribbon that I have is a different shade from what I put at the top, but that's okay. We're going to work with it. It's not a big deal. Remember the bulb pins I put on the back of the heart ornaments? It works perfectly for attaching them to the string that holds the bells. I'm looking for a word that explains how beautiful they look together. Maybe you can help me with that. Drop a comment and let me know what you think about these 2 DIYs displayed together. Every time I buy a mason jar to craft with, I end up not using the lid and throw it in this here bag. Now I have a mini collection of these lids and I want to turn them into ornaments. The concept of turning a canning jar lid into a Christmas ornament is not new, but I'm hoping that you will enjoy my take on it. I'm going to make 3 ornaments, and to make them I need 3 of the inside part of the canning lid and then 6 of the outside, like the outer loop of the canning lid. I am using origami paper here. It's double-sided and pretty. I think I bought this off of Amazon in a larger pack, and these are the last 3 sheets that I had. But I essentially cut this down to fit the inside of this part of the canning lid, and I'm going to use glue to attach that inside. This is Fabric Fix. So Fabric Fix and Fabric Tack are both excellent for adhering paper to any surface because it's not water-based and it doesn't cause the paper to buckle or wrinkle up. going to wipe off that excess on the back, and it's already coming together. I'm going to use one of these little mini trees from the Dollar Tree. I have a couple of different sizes here, so I was just trying them out. I didn't use any green for this project, but I end up loving this so much, I may make more of them and put some of the green trees in here. So this one's a little too big. This one's a little too small, so I'm going to make a slight adjustment. This is definitely the size that I want, but it overlaps that top outer edge. So I'm just going to screw off the base, take my wire cutters and cut just about a millimeter off of this stem and reattach the base. I'm going to create a snowy scene on the inside using Snow Tech. I don't use this material very often because I find it hard to apply to detailed projects, but for something like this, using a craft stick to apply it is super easy. I'm going to do the same thing on the second lid, and I'm going to apply some of the snow to the back side at the bottom there on that wood piece because I'm not going to be able to reach that once I get the tree glued in. This Snow Tech stuff is very messy. Here I'm just showing you how I clean clay and Snow Tech and other things that are similar in texture off of my hands. It's just one of these sponges that's soft on one side and sort of a Brillo on the other side, and it works wonders to clean your hands quickly. Now I'm going to take the other lid and adhere that down using hot glue. So I'm going in and I'm just going to touch it up. I'm going to try to smooth the snow out as much as possible to make it look like it's fresh snow and not walked on, but I don't do very well with that. So when gluing the two lids together, I did have a smidge of a gap between the two, so I'm using the Snow Tech to cover it up at the bottom, and then I'll embellish the outside to not only make it pretty, but to cover that gap. All right, so I have this strand of pearls. This came in a bag that I picked up of miscellaneous items from Goodwill, and I love it. I'm just going to go over that outside edge. I want to create a little bit more of a raise and also cover that gap we just spoke about. Once I get up to the top, I'm going to create sort of a built-in hanger, if you will. I'm going to add one more layer to the outside of the ornament. And this is where that strand of little beads is going to come into play because it gives just enough raise to add a little bit more dimension to the entire ornament. It's also going to lock it in so that that bead strand doesn't go anywhere. The trim I'm using to do this is absolutely gorgeous. I can't remember for the life of me where I got it. Part of me wants to think that it came in one of the bundle packs of trim that you can pick up at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. Probably Michael's if I had to guess because they tend to have prettier trims in their packs. But boy, if I can find this stuff again, I'm all over it. If you don't have this, just pull out something pretty of your own. And now that bead strand is in there snug as a bug and the ornament is almost ready to be hung, but we're going to add one more detail. Two more details. Detail number 1 and detail number 2. The Snow Tech doesn't take as long as you might think to dry. I set these aside for about 2 hours without touching them and came back and it was almost completely dry and ready to hang. Here they are complete. This is just a little mini tree because I don't have my main tree out yet. I'll have that out in a couple of days and I cannot wait. But this is what they look like complete and I'm so happy with the turnout on these. How pretty. I definitely want to make more of these. Here's a look back at what we created today. Do you see the beauty we cranked out just crafting around? I hope these DIYs have inspired you to create something beautiful today. If they did, leave a comment and let me know. And also tell me which DIY is your favorite. I appreciate you so much for staying until the end of this video. I'm so excited for Christmas. It's kind of sad that we're almost done making DIYs for Christmas. Don't forget to visit my community page in a day or two for that poll that I promised, and we'll decide together what we'll create following the holiday. If you enjoyed the video, let me know by giving it a thumbs up. Share it with a friend. Subscribe if you haven't. What do you have to lose? If you want to see more content from this channel, check out one of these videos next. And until next time, my friend, don't forget to craft what you love.